And we're live, Dr. Tammy.
Hey, I was like, what's going on? How's it going? What's new? It's Friday. We're back. And can you see me? Because I don't see there's a camera. So I hope everybody can see me. I see black. So I'm trusting I'm on the screen. So, hello, everyone. Welcome to The Block. Today is another episode on The Block. I am Dr. Tammy, Director of Accreditation and Certification for the International Council of Registered Blockchain Professionals, ICORBP. So I appreciate you being here and I appreciate you joining us today. Doc Vince?
This blockchain continuing education program is brought to you by our major sponsors. HTML Coin, utility coin beyond the hype. Althash University, your online school in the fourth industrial revolution. Libra Codes, take control on your NFT creation. And Credence Hub, verified credentials, anytime, anywhere. We also would like to thank our partners.
Thank you. Okay, so look, y'all, I'm on the struggle bus with this Wi-Fi, so there's a bit of delay, so I apologize for that. So thank you all for joining us. This is another episode on The Block, and you are on the block with us. And if you have not, make sure you say hello to us, comment below. Make sure that you share this out. If there is someone you think would benefit from hearing this conversation, we'd love for you to share it and comment below. Tell us where you're joining us from even. So on The Block, we typically just have a conversations from experts in the field who's working in the field of blockchain, where one, you can meet industry experts, subject matter experts in the field of blockchain. So today we have a great guest who's going to be talking about esports and gaming, and his name is Matthew Hixon, and I'm going to invite him on so he can tell a little bit about himself, and we'll go from there. Matthew, hey.
Hey, how's it going?
It's interesting. So if I'm a little weird today, y'all, like when Doc Vince put me on the screen by myself, I can't see anything. Like it's just black, and I'm hoping you see me and that I'm not doing anything weird. But when I'm with someone else, I see everything. So it makes sense. So I apologize. So Matthew, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for being here with us and sharing what you're going to share with us today. I know you have some surprises in store for us. So first of all, let's just start with the basics. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Francis. Thank you for having me on. Really appreciate it. Super excited to be here. So my name is Matthew Hixon. I am currently the owner of Gamers Glorified LLC. And what I do is I host monthly gaming events. I do youth camps where I teach life and developmental skills through gaming, and take those skills and show them how they can apply that in real life, rather it be in esports if they decide to do esports, or if they decide to go somewhere else, like being an engineer, graphic design, coding, what have you, but still take those skills that they use while they're actually playing and put them in a life situation that they can use moving forward. I'm also a head esports coach for Kishwaukee University in Illinois. I pretty much recruit high schoolers for those who are interested in esports. So for those who don't know, esports is actually considered a collegiate sport now on the same level as college basketball, college football, tennis, esports. So there's scholarships that I could offer them. We compete nationwide with two other esports organizations where we compete with other colleges in esports. So it's really, really amazing. And also on the side, I do a little bit of competing myself. My background is in fighting games and sports games. So I've been competing for a little bit over 20 years. Not so much now, where I do more of my educational side and try to mold the youth for those who want to compete. I teach them what I've learned and show them how they can do it. And now based off of technology, you can actually make a living through this, rather it be competing or stuff in the background with esports. There's so many gaming opportunities that are available, and more that are coming along, like blockchain gaming. which I'll be talking about a little bit later, which is just another avenue of gaming that you can partake in and actually earn a living through that as well.
Okay, so before you say too much, because you were going, I'm like, wait, I have questions. Hold on, pause. So, because I want to make sure our audience understand before we get into the technology, like you said, I want them to at least understand what is esports. Like, we know what sports are. We understand when you say tennis and those type of things, but what is the difference between when we say esports, when we add the E in the front, and then of course that versus gaming, because I've heard you use both terms. So which means there may be some distinction between esports versus gaming. And so can you let's just start there so people everyone knows like what we're talking about before we get into technology and go to the next
Absolutely. So esports stands for electric sports. So what that is taking an actual game and structuring it in a way where there's a competition, where there can be a prize earning or a winner at the end. That earning can be money. It can be in the form of like gift cards, trophies, or what have you, or it can be in the form of cryptocurrency through blockchain or NFTs. And then there's just the actual gaming side where people just play casually. They do it for fun. That is something totally different outside of esports. But it's a little bit one and the same because most of the games that people play for fun, there is potentially an esports avenue connected to it.
Okay.
So
thank you for that. Thank you for breaking that down for us. Go ahead.
And so with the blockchain gaming, for those who don't know, they're called play to earn. P2E is short for it. And blockchain gaming is pretty much games where players can potentially earn NFTs or cryptocurrency and potentially have the outcome of having monetary value for it. So there are certain games out right now. There are more games coming out eventually, and every day there's something in the works of an NFT game. For those who don't know what NFTs are, it stands for non-fungible token. Pretty much it's a digital asset that you actually own. And depending on the game, you can put it on the marketplace and sell it. And that's where the monetary value comes from that way. Or there's a cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum. These certain games have their own set currency that you can earn while you play. And depending on the area that you live in, you can potentially take that cryptocurrency that you earn while playing and convert it into your native currency and actually use it as monetary value.
Okay. So, and if I heard you correctly, you work with youth. So, yes. So what ages?
It depends on the game, but my ages range from 5 years old up until mid-adulthood. So depending on the game, Roblox is a popular one. Fortnite is another popular one. So depending on the games that I do my camps through or that I'm hosting will determine the demographic of the age that I work with. But I've worked from 5 all the way up until college athletes with me being an esports coach. So
nice. Okay. So I have several questions and I'm not sure which one to ask first.
Let's do all
I
of
may
them.
be doing this interview in reverse because I do want to get into how you got into this. But now that we're talking about that, I have questions just about like your camp. Like, yes. How is that? Because you've listed some terms that we know are really popular in the space, but the concepts can be a bit challenging sometimes for younger folks to wrap their mind around as far as NFTs and things like that. So how does that play out before you actually get into the esports and the gaming and moving into that, which I'm sure that's why they're there and that's what they want, right? How is that structure for you? Do you have part of the camp where it actually discusses tokenization and NFTs and all of that? Or how is that blended in? I'm just curious as to the flow of the work you do.
So I take it from a perspective of what they actually know first. So I don't jump into the NFTs aspect of things and the tokenomics aspect of things first, because I have to make sure they understand the process prior to that, which is like your typical just competing and earning actual US dollars and how that actually works. Once they have an understanding of that, and I feel like they have that down packed, then I can slowly introduce them to the tokenomics and the cryptocurrency, because that is totally different from your traditional US dollar or whatever currency that you're at. It's like night and day. So I try to get them to understand whatever their currency is here, which is, I'm in the US, so the dollar first, how that actually works in gaming, how you can actually earn a living, how that actually works. And then once they have that down packed, I slowly introduce them to cryptocurrency, because I don't want to overwhelm them. Yeah. And it's constantly changing anyways. So I don't want to outdate myself by teaching them something today off top, and then by next month it's something totally different. Then I have to reroute all the troops back again and say, hey, remember what I said earlier last month?
Wait a minute,
that's no longer the case. So I slowly want to just introduce them so that way they're aware of it. And then once they're aware of it, they usually take their own time and figure out themselves which blockchain games that they want to enter, because there's so many. So it's based off their interests, but at the same time, now that they're aware of it, I give them the resources. They come to me with any questions, and then they can take it from there. So that's how I usually transition. You never want to jump into, because I'm still new to this myself with some of these games. Mm-hmm. And as I'm learning this, things change. There's a new coin. There's a new blockchain. So that's how I get the transitioning from.
Oh, perfect. So thank you for sharing that. So, you seem to be helping me today. So I appreciate that, because now I'm interested in how you got into blockchain and that journey for you. So how did you get into blockchain and then connected with this space, esports and gaming?
Absolutely. So with me, like I said, I've been a competitive gamer for years. So I'm always moving with the times when it comes to gaming. So back in like the early 1990s, 95 through 99, there wasn't really much of competitive gaming. There was only like in fighting games, and the prize pools were just a few $100s or like a gift card from the game shop that you were playing it at, right? It wasn't really big at the time. But as technology grew, the opportunities for that grew as well. So I was like, okay, so I can potentially go from making $50 to $100 to anywhere between a few hundred or 1,000 as the times change. So I was pretty much following the money where it was going with gaming, because it's something I love to do. And if I can earn a little bit of money at the same time while being good at it, why not? It's a no-brainer for me to do that. And as time kept going and going and going and going, then cryptocurrency came out. And that's actually how I got into it, because I was just doing my research. I'm like, what's new now? Where else can I diversify my platform in gaming and earning currency? Blockchain gaming. So I'm like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me I can actually earn money while I play? Like how does that work? So
like now you're talking, right? Then you're
right,
like,
now I'm looking and I'm looking. I'm like, okay, how do I get into it? And that's actually how I got into cryptocurrency as a whole anyways, which is really smart, by the way. Whoever initiated to correlate gaming into cryptocurrency is brilliant, because it gets you into the stock market, which can be kind of scary to most folks. Most people just don't dive into it. But when you incorporate that with gaming, it forces you to dive into it, because you're going to potentially earn something from it. So now I want to learn more about it, so that's actually how I got into it, on the blockchain side of things. And it's great.
Yeah. So now I'm curious. So because ICORBP is all about registered blockchain professionals and looking at the profession. So let's talk about this as a career and what you've done with it. So what are you, so let me get my words right. So I guess I'm just curious as to how you made that transition into doing the things that you do now, like the initiatives you have with the camps and things. And then what is, well, let me ask that first, because then I want to ask the impact on the students. Like, what is, what are you hoping they get out of what you're doing, beyond seeing you in this space and getting them into the space in general? So I guess those are my two questions. So the profession itself, like, how did you turn this into a profession, a career, something that you're doing now? And how does that look for you? And then, of course, for the students, like, how are the children or the youth and the young adults?
Absolutely. So we live in a digital age now. Everything is going towards technology with metaverse, as far as gaming. I pretty much take the technology and kind of make it fun. So I'm giving the youth the opportunities to let them know that there are other options for you, career-wise, outside of, your traditional career paths that we all have gone to, go to college, become a doctor, that type of thing.
What are you trying to say, Matt?
We got to move with the waves. We got to move with the time. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say.
As my name is Dr. Tammy, what are you trying to say? No,
we just got to move with the times, with technology, and that's where everything is going. And I myself have to adjust and move, or I'll be left behind, and what I'm doing right now might be, standstill. So the sooner the youth knows that these opportunities are available, the better. And as a profession, my job is to pretty much mold them, give them the opportunities, give them the resources, and it's with gaming. So it's almost, for me, it's a no-brainer. Like if I was young right now, younger, I would, and if I ran into myself that's doing this now, I would be super motivated. I would be 100% on board. So that's what with my profession, that's what I try to do. I try to just motivate and educate the youth on other options that are available, especially when it comes to gaming. It's universal. It's not going anywhere. The opportunities are growing. And at the same time, you can learn about blockchain. You can also learn about the earnings for that, and you can actually create your own as well. So I'm not in the create spot yet. I would love to know more about that. But as far as, creating your own token, your own blockchain, and then with Web3 coming out, that's going to, in my opinion, is going to help as well, push people to go towards that way. And what better way to start with the youth, and do it in gaming while you have their attention anyways. So that's how I, turn that into a profession.
So, and I know you work with the youth, and I'm sure you have kind of a timeline, and there's a structure to that. So what have you seen, or do you hope to see, once they're completed the program, or they've transitioned to something else, or, or they're not working with you anymore? What do you hope to see, or have you seen that they do with the information that they learn and the things that they learn with you?
Absolutely. I see passion, for one. They're definitely excited about it. And they're kind of already used to the concept anyways, subconsciously, because of games like Roblox. They have like Robux, Fortnite. They have their own set currency. So a lot of these games that the kids are playing now, preemptively, they already know how it's working because we're doing it in real time. And they just don't know yet. It's part of the game, But when you break it down to them the way I do it, and they're like, oh, well, that makes sense because I'm already doing it anyways as a game. It's right. You might as well do that as a living as you get older, as this progresses and grows. So it's kind of, I want to say it's kind of like easy for them. It's I don't really have to teach much of it because they're already doing it. So I'm just taking what they're already doing and then just showing them in real time how this actually can benefit you down the road, as you get older.
Perfect. So, and I think you had something to show us today. So,
oh yeah. So
I'm going to turn this over to you because I don't have a question, but I am going to turn it over for you to share with us what you've prepared.
Absolutely. So let me figure out how to screenshot. Okay, there's a screenshot button. All right, perfect. So I'm just going to talk about real quick how blockchain gaming is has been life-changing for me, and one of the sponsors that I sponsor for as far as one of the blockchain games that he's actually doing. So let me screen share real quick here.
Dr. Vince, you ready?
Yes, I am.
All
I'll just
right.
wait for the screen share.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. This is my first time working this. So let's see. Screen share. Let's see. All right. Not too hard. Okay. So can y'all see this?
We can see it.
All right. So I am partnered up with Amarihan NFT Gaming. So Amarihan NFT Gaming is a blockchain esports company. And these games on the bottom that you see here, Peg Axie, Axie Infinity, Thetan Arena, these are the top 3 games that I found so far that is doing really well in the blockchain play to earn type of games. So Axie Infinity is a game where you buy what is called Axies, which are these little cute little creatures here, and you compete with other players online with the type of cards. So, and then there's a clear winner. You earn SLP, which is the coin through Axie, and that coin has, you know, a value depending on how the market does, whatnot. I think it's going for like 2 cents right now per SLP. So I actually sponsor. This is very huge in the Philippines because the currency that you earn through Axie Infinity, you can transfer that token into the currency out in the Philippines. So with that being said, they are actually making a living off of playing Axie Infinity.
Wow. Okay.
So so the example here is, let's say I play Axie Infinity, I win a couple matches, I've earned 100 SLP. I can take that SLP, convert it to US dollars, and do whatever I want from there. Now, mind you, over here in the US, it's not much. I may get $30 to $40. You know, can't do much over here with inflation going on, but in the Philippines, that goes a very long way.
Right.
So to get involved with that, I partnered up with them because I wanted to sponsor an athlete in the Philippines. So what I did was I pretty much purchased his 3 Axie characters that he needed to compete. I did it when the market was down, which was not too long ago. So that's another thing that I talk about in my blockchain gaming classes when I get there, is when to buy, when's the best time to buy, and when's the best time to sell, that type of thing. You know, when the market was down, that means the characters that you buy for the Axie are down as well. So I got a pretty good price for them, real cheap, and I know they're going to go back up eventually. So I bought that, sponsored. His name is James, he lives out in the Philippines, and he pretty much now plays that for a living. Every 2 weeks, he gets paid based off of the SLP coin token from Axie, converts that into his currency in his native land, and now he has money for food, rent, utilities, what have you. So this is a prime example of how blockchain gaming is pretty much changing lives. There's other platforms. There's one called Yield Guide Gaming. So it's the same concept as well. And it's popular out in Philippines, I want to say in South Africa and other countries out overseas from here. So, and I share that story because it's actually changing lives. Over here, you can play the same games, but it's not worth as much here as it is overseas. I mean, I can't do much with, you know, $30, $40. That's half a tank of gas, that type of thing.
Yeah, let's not talk about the gas.
Right. Really, people are making a living off of this. I'm in the process of getting another scholar as well, just to add to my portfolio of players that I know that I'm making a difference through gaming in their actual lives. There are millions of players out there that they have right now. The CEO of the company is an awesome guy. I know him personally. He's actually in Miami at the Bitcoin convention right now that's going on. So I'll be chatting it up with him when he gets back. But that's just a prime example of where this is going and the potential that it has long term in blockchain gaming. We don't all have it figured out yet. There's so many games out there and to that aspect, but there are a few right now that are paving the way and showing, that this is where things are going. This is potential life changing, and I'm excited about it. It just makes me feel a lot better at what I'm doing and knowing that I'm doing that and changing lives at the same time.
That's my impact question. That's exactly what I wanted to know. Like, what's happening? So I love that you shared James's story. So I am curious now, because you said you're trying to get, other athletes and things onboarded. So how, no matter, and you work with a wide range of ages, and some of them are not athletes, quote unquote, yet. But how do they connect with you? So I guess we may have to take this in segments. Like if they're this, they do this. If they're that, they do that. So how do they connect with you? How do they join one of your camps or your program? How do they put in an application if they want to be one of those, you're the next athlete you support and share with? Can you just tell a little bit about your onboarding process for the different ages?
Yeah, absolutely. So even though we live in a digital era, I'm more of a door-to-door salesman type of person. I'm very social. So a lot of the youth and people that come to my camps, it's because of me, because they know I'm a gamer. I understand. I speak their lingo. They see my passion. I'm living proof of what some of them are trying to become. So it's easier for them to follow my lead and be like, okay, what do I need to do? Because I haven't always been doing this full time. Like my background is in mortgages. I was in the mortgage industry for 20 years. And then I was like trying to build up my business, which I still am now, but something had to give, so I was like, you know what, let me follow my passions. It's not easy, but I love what I do, So what I do is I go to schools. I'm at public libraries. So I tend to go to where the kids are already at. Okay. It's easier to do that than to just go out and search. So I know the libraries, that's where the teams are. So I do my camps at local libraries, at the college, because I'm a coach. I still compete in tournaments casually. Like I'm not going to win like I used to, but it's kind of like a low-key recruiting is marketing. I let people know, what I do, how to get involved, that type of thing. So I just go to where the gamers go pretty much. And I fit right in, because I speak their language. I'm a gamer. Some of them know me prior to me owning my business because, I compete. So I have a familiar face. So that's how I actually recruit. And it's easier that way. I also do social media as well. And I can share all that later on. I talk to parents all the time because they don't know what esports is, but their kids do. So I make them feel comfortable. Like I do like Zoom conference calls here and there, just to educate them a little bit on what esports is and just let them know, you might not understand it, but the best thing you can do is support them. And that's a good motivator. I would say 90% of the time, you might not understand them, but just if you support what they're doing, try to be their cheerleader, for them, it'll motivate them in the right direction. But that's how I pretty much do my scouting. I go to where the gamers are and I just be me.
Okay, so Matt, I must now. I'm gonna push you to the edge here because I'm gonna have you just on the spot share one more thing, because we have a global audience. And because we have a global audience, they may not be in the school or the library or where you're at the university where you frequent or where you're going to get, just share what you're doing. So if someone is watching us and they're not at one of those locations, how do they connect with you? I know you mentioned social media. Do you prefer they DM you? Do you have an email?
Yeah, I have an email. I'm on WhatsApp. I'm on Telegram. I'm actually in the process of working on a curriculum for Althash University, so they can join that as well. But just casually, yeah. WhatsApp. If they have any questions, they want to game themselves, they need any help getting to that part of things, to get involved. Yeah, I'm on WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram. So those are probably the best ways, in email.
Okay, so what is your Instagram handle?
It's Gamers Glorified.
Okay, Gamers Glorified. So the name of your business. Okay, so there we go. So I don't know if Doc Vince has something prepared, but I'm pushing you so he can put something on the screen so people.
Yeah, absolutely. I got something here. I'll share it real quick.
Okay, yes, you can even put it in the chat there.
Yeah,
in the private chat, and
screen share it. I have all my
thank you, Doc Vince,
stuff on here as well. So what I'll do is I'll do my screen share again. And
perfect.
Yeah.
Even better. Because you gave some great information today. So I want to make sure they are able to find you at least on one of the platforms. So that's great.
Absolutely.
So at Gamers Glorified, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. He's on Twitch, of course, because this is gaming, right? So
absolutely.
Gamers Glorified TV. So do you stream on there a lot?
I do actually. I have a channel. I'll be streaming pretty frequently now. I do tips on how to become a competitive gamer. So I pretty much talk about what I do, what works for me, and how to get you guys going or girls going in regards to how to become a better gamer, whether you want to take that on a collegiate level for college or just competing on a casual base or competitive base as well.
Awesome. So I know I have a few questions that I know I didn't ask you, and they will be really out of order right now. But I do want to give you the opportunity to say any final thoughts on anything that you want to. Okay, and I see a question in the chat. So I guess I need to address that. So maybe I am going to ask the question. So we may come back to your contact information. So don't leave that slide, because I may have you show it at the very end, since we're going to kind of continue the conversation for about 5 minutes. So I do have a question. So if someone wanted to do something like you do, or when you got into this as a profession, as a business, was there any special training you needed to pursue or certifications as far as blockchain technology, blockchain studies? Because you were already into gaming. You may even got more information about that and the more depth in the industry. So is there anything that you needed and then you just got because you thought it would be beneficial?
No, there isn't anything needed. Okay. On my end, moving forward, and the way that esports is growing and blockchain is going, that I would say yes. So part of the curriculum that I'm coming up with Althash University, there's going to be a blockchain certificate that I'm going to create that certifies them. But moving forward, I would say in the near future, yes, that would be something that would be necessary, because no one really saw this coming the way it was coming, as fast as it was coming. I think the pandemic it was a blessing in disguise. Because it kind of forced everyone to go more towards the digital world than what everyone thought we were expecting or ready to do. Kind of pushed us that way 2 years faster than we thought. And because of that, esports has grown tremendously. Blockchain has grown tremendously. So I'm going to be in the process of looking myself, because even all the credentials that I have just from personal experience and what I'm doing now, I need those myself also. It makes it something tangible. It just looks good on your resume overall. So as I'm finding those, I can share those also. But I know the curriculum that I'm coming up with through Althash University, there will be a certified blockchain certificate for those who participate.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. And so we have one more question. So because you mentioned Chicago and esports. So what's the esports scene like in Chicago? Can you kind of give us a
Yes,
little bit?
it's very humble and it's very competitive at the same time. And it's a family. So even though we compete, it's all in love. We like to see the community in the area go further than Chicago, even maybe international potentially as well. But the scene is great. I'm always welcome for new players. I do have to let them know, though, it can be a doggy dog world because everyone's competing, but just know it's in good spirits and love. So while we're playing, we're opponents, but afterwards, we're friends and we talk about it. And, so I have to sometimes let them know, that's just how it is sometimes.
Yeah.
And it depends on the actual gaming. So if that's more of the fighting game community side, but like the actual team-based atmosphere, it's great, because usually there's like 3-on-3s, 5-on-5. So it all depends on the game. But Chicago is very welcoming. There's a lot of good spots that I would recommend. I currently work at one part-time, which is Esports, B-Hop Esports. It's in the Vernon Hills area. I'm an actual coach there also. So someone who wants to get introduced into gaming, is interested but doesn't know where to start, I give them the basics on how to do that, keep them motivated, that type of thing as well. There's Ignite, which is in Skokie area in Chicago. That's really big as well. There's another spot called GameWorks out in Schaumburg. That's a good spot as well. So with me, anything within a 45-mile radius that has to do with gaming, I'm kind of involved in it. I kind of have to be because I got to keep updating, stay updated on what's going on and everything like that.
Y'all hear that? You got to stay updated. Education is the key.
Oh, and yeah, I want to say that. I tell everybody,
Yeah.
as much as this is gaming, like education is the key. And I tell them, I know y'all don't like school. I don't like school when I was there. Right? But just keep your grades up. Especially, I tell the young ones, especially when school is free for y'all, like make it as easy as possible. Because there's scholarships out here. Like I can give out scholarships for gaming.
Nice.
Like, it still blows my mind to this day. Like I have like I'm always struggling to find someone to give the scholarships out to, because usually that's more of an incentive to get the person to enroll in your school, but it's gaming. So that's enough for them as it is. Right. Like, what? I can play Fortnite and still go to school for a degree in engineering or a doctor? Yeah.
Yes.
I don't have to really entice them with the scholarship aspect of it. We'll give you money they're already excited enough as it is to be a part of that, and the fact that they have it. But I tell them, keep your grades up. Like, make it as easy as possible for you in the long run. Right. So I this is coming from a coach's side of me when I do recruiting, and I'm like, look, keep your grades up. As much as y'all don't like going to school, I get it. I used to be one. But keep it up. Keep your grades up. And that's what I do with my camps, and I try to teach them life skills through gaming, because they can apply, a lot of them apply what they learn here to the schoolwork. And it makes a difference. So
yeah. And and when you were saying that, I was thinking, there's education on both levels, right? Just if they're in a K-12 or in a higher education setting, they need to keep that up. But then even within the space, right? There's so much, exactly, like wallets, NFTs, and blockchain, and all this, and so much is changing like so rapidly. Like you have to do that. So to stay connected in your regular studies, that it just gives you the tools you need to actually do the learning that you want to do on your own. So you're very productive and in this space. So as well.
You'll be surprised because I don't have to, they come to me about this. Like, for example, like I was doing a Fortnite camp for the youth, right? And a lot of the 3 of the kids were like, hey, are you into stocks and NFTs and stuff? And I'm like, when? how do you know about that, right? But at the same time, the digital age, they have access. If you're into gaming, you're gonna fall into it on accident, just not looking for it. You'd be like, oh, what is that NFTs? You'd be surprised how many 10 to like 14-year-olds like know about NFTs. They know about it, but they don't know about it, and they want to learn more about it. And I'm like, okay. So
I
now
spoke
that's
at a high school, and that was the thing. They knew about it because they were in the game. And of course, somebody would ask them about it. So what about NFTs? And then they're like, in gaming. And then they're like, whoa. And so, And
it's stuff that, I'm like, it's not being taught in school. So where do you go? And then, they come to me. So if I'm already on that right track, I'll be more than happy to show you guys. And like, I have my own NFT myself. It's pretty much my gaming intro that I have for my streaming. I'm selling that, So I did want just to be a part of it, just to see how it is. And like, the gas fees killed me more than anything, but I'm not gonna talk about that.
That's another conversation.
But it's there. It's for sale, but just so that I can show them, like, I did it. This is how you can do it. Here's the steps on how to do it, type of thing. But yeah, it's shocking. I'm not shocked, but I am shocked because at that age, they are already aware of that and asking the right person, which is me, those questions. And I'm like, yeah, I'll put together a camp for you guys so that way you can get, introduced into that. So it's a good sign. It's a really good sign.
It is. So any final words, any final thoughts? Before we go, anything that I haven't asked that are addressed and you want to share with our audience?
Stay tuned. I'm around, I just love what I do. I'm still learning myself, like I said, things change in the gaming industry a lot. I just have to keep on board. Anyone watching that has kids, tell your kids to stay in school, keep up your grades. And yeah, I'll share my contact information.
Yeah, share it again.
Because I gotta be as soon as I get off here, I'm doing something else, gaming wise. So let me share it one more time for the audience. 1 second here. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
Yep. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube at Gamers Glorified. Twitch, for those who don't know, that is a streaming platform initially for gamers, but I found out that you can pretty much stream anything over there on there, but it's solely for gamers. Gamers Glorified TV is the channel. You can always email me at gamersglorified@gmail.com. I'm on WhatsApp and Telegram at 99cent McFury, which is my gamer tag, by the way. That's where most gamers know me by instead of Matthew Hixon. They either call me 99cent McFury or... I
know that's a whole conversation. I have a whole question on that, but go ahead.
And then my Discord is Coach 99cent McFury, #1684. For those who don't know, Discord is pretty much the instant messaging app for, I would say, 99% of anything that's gaming related. That's how me and my athletes communicate. That's how I communicate with all my followers who are part of Gamers Glorified. That's the main communication that we actually go through.
Yeah. Thank you. Nice. So y'all make sure y'all connect with him. Make sure you look him up, follow, and keep learning more about this. And I'm sure, as things progress and things change, we'll probably end up having him back. I was
going to say, this won't be the last conversation that we have.
No.
I'll probably have more information and new things in regarding to the blockchain and play to earn games. But this was fun. I really enjoyed myself.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for all the good information. I learned some things today, so I'm really excited. And Doc Vince?
This blockchain continuing education program is brought to you by our major sponsors: HTML Coin, Utility Coin Beyond the Hype, Althash University, your online school in the fourth industrial revolution. Libra codes, take control on your NFT creation. And Credence Hub, verified credentials, anytime, anywhere. We also would like to thank our partners.